So again, being in the moment, in this moment, this one right here seated on the mat. And it's so lovely to be present with you, each of you, sharing this moment. What could be better? Could be more valuable than to share the moment. So, that being said, I invite you to drop into your sits bones. Close your eyes or lower your eyelids and just allow yourself to arrive. Be sensing in a little more than some other days, perhaps your actual flesh on the mat. The sensation of the legs, the hips, seated on the surface beneath you. Feeling the temperature, feeling the fabric or the textures beneath you. Settling into the bones. And then noticing your tailbone. Visualizing it as a root that grows down into the earth. And then drawing energy and light all the way up the central energy channel, the Sushumna, this energy channel that runs right along the spine. All the way up through the crown of the head, blossoming there like a beautiful flower. Expansive and reaching towards the energy of the sky. And lengthening the spine and finding the breath. Letting the shoulders relax and feeling the sensation of the shoulder blades resting on the back body. Breathing in and out, slow your breath down. And allow the exhalations to be longer than the inhalations. Soften your jaw, soften your tongue and your mouth. Relax your face. Feel the flow of the breath in and out. And please join with me in looking within, seeing what speaks to you this morning, some inspiration or intention for your practice. And from there, let's practice some metta. I was reading about the Buddha's smile. A gentle half smile, one that may not even be noticeable by any others, really does shift the energy in the body. There's a response. Allowing dopamine and serotonin to flow. Let's practice some phrases And for oneself or another, starting with the pronoun I. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be healthy and strong. May I be safe and protected. May I be filled with loving kindness and forgiveness. May I live and practice with ease and grace. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be healthy and strong. May I be safe and protected from inner and outer harms. May I be filled with loving kindness and forgiveness. And may I live and practice with ease and grace. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be healthy and strong. May you be safe and protected from inner and outer harms. May you be filled with loving kindness for yourself and for others. May you live and practice with ease and grace. And please bring your hands together in front of your heart in this gesture of unity, bringing the opposite hemispheres together at the midline of the body, Anjali Mudra. We'll chant one Om. Take a deep breath in and let it out. And another cleansing breath like that. And let it go. Another breath in and let's begin. Om. And then please release your hands. Let them rest on your legs. Lift your eyelids and let your vision return to clarity with ease and grace. And then lengthen your spine just a little more. Draw your belly in and take your hands behind you, clasping them like this, intertwining the fingers behind you. And draw the shoulder blades towards one another. Reach out through the heart as you press the hands, the backs of the hands down towards the earth, stretching through the pectorals, the scalenes, maybe even lifting your chin slightly, taking your gaze to the corner where the ceiling and the wall meet. Take a couple breaths there. And then release, and let's intertwine the fingers the other way. Do the same thing. Press the backs of the hands down, lift the heart, draw the shoulder blades towards one another, and slightly lift the chin, keeping the neck long. Don't crunch through the back of your neck. Lengthen the back of your neck. Press down through the backs of the hands. Another breath or two here. And then release. Circle your shoulders, nice and slow. Both ways. Good. And then let's take a side bend. Take the arms out to either side, reach through the fingers. Take a deep breath in and lift all the way up and come all the way over into your side stretch. Take it slow and easy, letting the fibers release with your breath. Long breaths in, longer breaths out, and anchor through your right sits bone, your right leg, your hip. Take a breath into the right armpit, and with the exhalation, send the breath down the side body, out the hip. Good. Now revolve, bringing the heart towards the earth. Press out through the palm of your hand. Turn your gaze towards the earth and breathe into the back ribs, behind the scapula, or under the scapula, I should say. Keep grounding through both hips. And on your next inhalation, revolve your ribs back so that you're facing the front of the room. Take another breath or two here, breathing into the ribs and the lungs. And on your next inhalation, root through both hips, come back up. Good. Lengthen the spine. Lift the heart, draw the shoulder blades onto your back. Take it to the other side. Reach out through the fingertips, and on an inhalation, lift and gently come over. Reach out through those upper fingertips. Root through both hips, especially the left sits bone, as you reach long through those upper fingertips. Inviting the breath into the left armpit, left lobe of the lung, the ribs, side waist, hip. On your next inhalation, revolve and draw the heart towards the earth, pressing out through the palm of your hand. Stay rooted through the left sits bone, the left leg. And breathe into the back ribs, into the space under the scapula, your shoulder blade. Big breath in, long breath out. On your next breath in, revolve the ribs back, face the front of the room. Take another deep breath here. Send it down the side body, out the hip. And on your next inhalation, root through both hips, come back up. Good. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Reach your tailbone down, lift your heart. Take a couple of breaths, just feeling into the space of your body. Good, and let's come into child's pose. We'll take it hip width distance apart, bringing the big toes together, and draw your sits bones towards your heels. Reach long through the crown of your head. Draw the belly in, draw the inner groins in and down, and slowly make your way down. Let the fibers through the back body unwind gently and easily, and you can bring a block to place under your forehead to begin, if that's helpful, or a blanket, whatever feels best. Keep drawing the belly in, drawing the inner groins in and back. Take deep breaths into the back body. As you breathe in and out, keep the arm bones lifted up off the mat. Hug the muscles to the bones in those arms and draw the shoulder blades down the back body towards the hips, away from the ears. Soften your jaw and let your face just fall off right down into the earth. On your next inhalation, please walk your hands to the right. Lift your hips for just a moment and then set them back down toward your heels. Invite the breath into your left armpit, all the way down the side body into the hip. And let that breath go. Another couple breaths here, really stretching out all the way from the hip to the armpit and then through the fingertips. And on your next inhalation, please walk your hands back to center. Take a breath cycle right here, breathing into the back body and expanding the ribs in all 360 degrees. Keep those arm bones actively lifted up off the mat. And on your next inhalation, walk your hands to the left. Lift your hips for a moment, settling them back towards the heels. Breathe into the side body. Invite the breath into the armpit and the right lobe of the lung and ribs, side waist and hip. Deep breaths in and out. One more breath cycle here. And then walk your hands back to the center of your mat. Draw your belly in. Draw the inner groins in. Lengthen through the fingertips, maybe even clawing the fingertips into the mat as you draw those shoulder blades, your scapula, down towards your hips and away from your ears. On your next inhalation, bring your hands under your shoulders. Spread your fingers comfortably wide, lift up, and come to table pose. Turn your toes under as you bring your wrists right under your shoulders, knees right under your hips. Draw the belly in, lengthen the spine, and let your heart settle towards the earth between your shoulder blades. So your shoulder blades are like two wings right behind your heart. Let's take some up-down cats, nice and slow to unwind and open. Take a breath in with the toes turned under and lift through the crown of your head, letting your belly and your heart sink towards the earth and your tailbone lift towards the sky. The long neck, and then exhale, press the tops of your feet into the mat. Draw your belly in and up. Backbone reaching towards the sky. Inhaling, go the other way. Take it slow and easy, letting all those fibers listen to your breath and feel the urge to unwind. Exhale, other way. Draw the belly in, gaze towards your belly button. Inhale, lengthen, open up, breathe. And on an exhalation, draw the belly in and back. Press those feet, the tops of the feet into the mat, and press the earth away. One more cycle of cat, cow, upward, downward cat. And then please come right back to table. Take a moment, sit back towards your heels and circle your wrists in both directions. And we'll come back to table, just giving the wrists some love. And then please join me again, table pose. Have your blocks nearby, please. Let's take a deep breath in and send the right foot back to the back of the mat. And then just take a few moments to press out through the heel. Extend through the heel, press it away, lengthen the leg. And then come back and bring that leg over to the left. So your right foot wraps around behind you and over to the left side of the mat, and you can turn to look towards that foot and open up through the side body, all the way down and out the heel. Big stretch. And on your next inhalation, bring your leg back, press out once again, and then come back to table. Let's take the other side. Take your left leg back, press out through the heel, lengthen those fibers. Good, and on your next breath in, send the leg to the other side of your mat and turn, look towards that heel, press out. Breathe into the side body, all the way down the leg, all the way to the heel. Good, and then bring your leg back. One more, press back. And then bring your knee back to the mat. Take your knees wide and sit back, child's pose. Lengthen the arms overhead, but then drop the elbows to the mat and lift your hands behind your head in Anjali Mudra. Press just the fingertips into each other, lifting the palms away from one another. And press those fingertips in and ignite the upper arms, the muscles in the upper arms, and maybe even in the upper back as you press. Relaxing your face. Good. And then lower your hands to the mat. Bring them under your shoulders and press back up. Take care as you lift your knees back to hip width distance apart and come back to table pose. Find one of your blocks now, and we'll take the block into the right hand and come on up to your knees, and we'll take gate pose. Take the left leg out to the side, and when you do, bring the toes towards the front of the room. And you can either have your left toes turned under or the top of your foot pressing into the earth. And then while here, lean onto this block and have it upright. Pressing into the outer edge, the knife edge of your left foot. You can take your arm along the side body or bring the fingertips behind the ear. Or if you like, you can extend the fingertips, turn the palm up towards the sky, and then lengthen the arm overhead, right over your ear, just like in extended side angle pose. Breathe into the side body, into the stretch. Lift out of that right shoulder, so you're not hanging into the shoulder, but lifted and expansive. Good. Take another breath here. Full breath cycle, and then lower your arm, bring it back down, and draw your knee in. And lower down. Let's take child's pose. Walk your hands overhead, taking it slow and easy. Couple breaths here. Breathe into the back body. Keep the arms active, lifting them up and off the mat. Draw the belly in and back, the inner groins in and back. Big breaths here into the entire rib cage. Expand it in all directions. Good, and then bring your hands under your shoulders, spread your fingers wide, lengthen your spine, and we'll take the gate pose to the other side. Make sure you have room to extend your leg. And once you've found your perfect placement, bring that upright block over to the left side of your mat and extend your right foot out. Bring the toes to face the front of the mat and the leg out to the side. Lift out of your supportive shoulder, and you can stay here, or again take your fingertips behind your head, or perhaps lift the fingers, the arm overhead, keeping it in alignment with your shoulder. Reach out through the fingertips. Press into the outer edge of your extended leg foot. Keep lifting out of your left shoulder, neck nice and long. Grow long through the side body, all the way from the heel to the fingertips. Good. Another breath or two right here. And on your next inhalation, bring your arm back down, lift up, knee comes to the mat, and you can sit back once again. Child's pose, maybe take your knees out a little wider this time. And breathe into the back body as you lower down. Keeping the arms active. Shoulder blades drawing down towards your hips and away from your ears. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And then bring your hands right under your shoulders, spread the fingers wide, lift up, carefully lift your knees back to hip width distance. And let's bring the blocks, both of the blocks, to the front of the mat. And taking table pose once again, make your table a little longer, spread your fingers wide. We're going to press up into downward facing dog. On your next breath in, with the middle finger facing forward, lift your hip crease right on up to the sky. And then press out through both legs, just like we did in table pose. But now we're in downward facing dog. Press the heels towards the earth, no matter if they reach the mat or not. Just press. And you can let your hips kind of travel with you. Maybe even sending the hips out from side to side as you press out through both heels. That feels really nice. And then come back to center. Take a breath in, lift up onto your toes, lift the hips towards the sky. Keep your legs nice and long as you lower your heels towards the earth. Lift the hips again high and then back towards the wall behind you. On your next breath in, bend your knees, look to the front of the mat, and then step your feet all the way up to your hands. Find your blocks if you're using blocks. Take a couple breaths here in Uttanasana. Lift your hips high. Feel your feet on the mat, rooting through all 4 corners of both feet. Really give yourself an opportunity to feel your soles on the mat. Keep your hips best you can over your ankles, and then bring your hands to your hips. Draw the belly in, lengthen the spine, root through your feet, and use the strength of your legs to rise up. Bring your hands to either side in Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a couple of breaths here, feeling yourself tall on your mat. If it feels good in your practice, you can lift your toes. Press into all 4 quarters of both feet. Spread your toes wide. Lift your arches. Energize your feet. And then lower your toes to the mat. Press the feet away from one another. Energize your legs. Feel that energy move all the way up. Life force prana energy moving up the legs into the pelvis. Draw the belly in, send the tailbone downward. Draw the lower ribs in as you lift your heart, drawing the shoulder blades towards one another on the back body. Extend long through the fingertips, long through the crown of the head. Reach the ears back towards the shoulders. Take a couple of breaths here. Lower your jaw so it's parallel to the earth. You can even hug your chin in towards your throat. That is Jalandhara Bandha, the deep front line, that Bandha lock in the throat. Take a breath in and bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra. Another breath or two right here. And then we'll take chair pose. On your next inhalation, you can keep your hands in Anjali Mudra and sit down into your chair. You can also take your hands behind you or reach them up overhead. If you're reaching them overhead, feel that stretch through the side body that we've been working on. Sit into your chair, sending the tailbone towards the earth. Draw the belly in. And on your next breath in, lift up, reach the fingertips towards the sky. Take a little thoracic back bend. And as you exhale, bring the hands together, Anjali Mudra. Let's take some half sun salutations. Take a breath in, press the hands together, draw the shoulder blades towards one another on the back body as you lengthen your neck. Exhale, lift the heart and extend the arms to the sides. Inhale, bring the arms overhead, fingers touch. Exhale, hinge and float down, finding your blocks perhaps, your legs, the mat, whatever feels good in your body. Inhale, come halfway up, draw the belly in, the inner groins in, inner rotating at the head of the thigh bones, bow to the legs. Inhaling, lengthen the spine, come halfway up. Exhale, bow. Inner rotate at the head of the thigh bones. Inhale, head lift. Long spine. Exhale, bow to the legs. One more of these. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, keep those legs active as you bow in, bowing to the legs. Lift the hips towards the sky. And then on your next inhalation, lengthen over the earth, spread your arms wide like a bird, and then inhale, press up with the strength of your legs, fingertips touch overhead. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Adding on, inhale, press hands. Lengthen the side bodies. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, fingertips touch. Exhale, open the heart, float down, Uttanasana. Inhale, head lift. Exhale, bow. Adding on now, inhale, bend your knees. Place your blocks along the sides of your feet or your hands, your choice. Exhale, step your right foot back. Lunge. From here, you can bring your hands to your knee, lift up, press out through that back foot, Maybe you take your arms out to the side. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Bring it back. And lower down. Let's take a twist. Bring your right hand into the center on a block or on the mat. Take your left hand to your hip and keep your hips best you can in alignment with the front of your mat. And then twist just through the thoracic spine like you're wrapping your ribs around the axis of your spine. You can stay here or lengthen the arm, bring it up overhead, twist, breathe, press out through that back heel, inhale, exhale, come back down, runner's lunge. On your next breath in, if you're using blocks, move them to the side, bring your hands to the mat, and then step your left foot back, plank pose. Press out through those heels. Widen through the collarbones and the upper back. Draw the belly in. Couple breaths here. You can always bring your knees to the mat. Or press out, lifting the legs. Same with lowering down. You can lower down by bringing your knees to the mat. Or if you want to build super strong arms, lower down, using just the strength in your arms. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Circle the shoulder blades onto your back. Draw up from your pubic bone to your belly button. And then press up, cobra. Draw those shoulder blades towards one another on the back body. And then press up. We can come through table pose to press up into downward facing dog. Breathe here. Lift the hips high. And send them back behind you. Bring your heels right behind the widest part of your foot. Stretch out from your palms to your armpits. Lengthen through the side bodies. Outer rotate the head of the arm bones, drawing the triceps towards your ears. Big breaths in and out. And then bend your knees, look to the front of your mat, and again, we'll step up. Find your blocks, or the mat, or your legs. Take a couple of breaths here, Uttanasana. Bring your hands behind you and interweave the fingers. Send the backs of your hands towards the sky as you wrap the shoulder blades towards one another. Open through the heart. Keep those sits bones lifted towards the sky. And then root through your feet and we'll jackknife up with the strength of the legs. Press the hands towards the earth. Draw the belly in and lift your heart. Inhale. Exhale, release the hands, let them float up and down into Anjali Mudra. We'll take the other side, but we'll start with chair pose. Excuse me, take a breath in, and as you exhale, send the knees forward and sit back, chair pose. And again, options, you can stay right here or lengthen the arms behind you or reach them up overhead for a nice stretch all the way through the fingertips. Keep shining your knees forward like two headlights. And then from here, take a breath in. And as you exhale, press up, fingertips reach to the sky. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Half sun salutations. Inhale, press hands. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge and fold forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, head lift. Draw the belly in. Exhale, bow to the legs. Inhale, one more, head lift. Exhale, bow. Inhale, bend your knees, place your blocks or hands, and then exhale, reach the left foot back to the wall or towards the wall behind you. Reach out through that heel and press up. Bring your hands to your front knee. You can stay here or take your arms out to the side. Good. Take a breath in. Beautiful. Exhale. Bring it back in. And then lower down back to the mat with the fingertips. We'll take a twist. Bring your left hand into the center or your block. Right hand comes to the hips. Press out through that back heel and then revolve the ribs around the spine. So the hips stay in the same plane as the front edge of your mat. Option to stay here or take the arm up to the sky. Big twist. Inhale. Exhale, lower it down. If you're using blocks, take them out to the side and we'll press the right foot back, plank pose. Broad through the collarbones and the upper back. Press out through the heels, draw the belly in, tailbone towards the foot of the mat. Inhale. Exhale, lower down, however's best in your body. And again, we'll take cobra pose. Spread the fingers wide and hug the elbows towards your ribs. Pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Zip up from the pubic bone to the belly button and then lift. Cobra pose. Deep breath in and out. And then turning the toes under, press back. Come on up into downward facing dog. Lift your hips high. Press out through your heels. Press out through the palms of your hands, pressing more into the index and the thumb. Big breaths in and out. Feel that length along the side bodies, the legs and the arms. And then bend your knees, look to the front of the mat. Step up. Uttanasana, forward fold. Firm the muscles to the bones in the legs and then interweave your fingers the other way, the unusual way. Draw your elbows to either side and then press the backs of your hands towards the sky, open through the pectorals. Take a couple of breaths here. Do your best to keep your hips over your ankles. Ground through all four corners of your feet, and on an inhalation, rise up with the strength of your legs. Press the hands towards the earth, open the heart. Draw the belly in. Inhale. Exhale, release the hands, let them float up. And back to Anjali Mudra. Good. A few breaths here as we stand in peaceful pose, Samastitihi. Feeling the rise and the fall of the breath in the body. Good. Then please release your hands, bend your knees, and step your right foot back. We'll take Virabhadrasana 1, Proud Warrior 1 or Warrior 1. Draw your hip points towards the front of the mat best you can. Keep your back foot in a 45-degree angle, and then send your arms out to the sides, lengthening through the fingertips. Take a breath in and lift your arms up. Beach ball arms, rounded arms, shoulder blades on the back. Inhale, exhale, press it down, open the heart. Fingertips, thumbs back, pinkies forward. Front knee over the ankle foot. Inhale, press it up. Draw the shoulder blades down the back as you press into all four corners of both feet, and then exhale, lower down, pinkies forward, thumbs back. Draw the belly in, inhale, up. Exhale, lower. One more, inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Release your arms and step up. We'll take it to the other side, bend your knees, and as you exhale, step your left foot back. Make sure you're on railroad tracks, not a tightrope, and again, bring best you can your hip points to face the same plane, the front edge of your mat. Firm the muscles to the bones in the legs and press into that outer edge of your back foot and all four corners of the front. So we're pressing into all four corners of both feet. Inhale, lift the arms, beach ball arms. Exhale, pinkies forward, thumbs back, press it down. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, press down, cactus arms. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Reach long through the side body, shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, press down. One more, inhale, up. Exhale, down, good. And then release your arms, step forward, and we're back to Tadasana. Let's take a couple of standing poses, taking broad, wide stance on your mat, as wide as is comfortable in your body. As you arrive, feel into the soles of your feet, ground, stay grounded. Firm the muscles to the bones in the legs and draw the tailbone towards the earth as you hug the belly in, lift the heart. Relax the shoulders and the arms. Turn your right foot parallel the long edge of your mat. Inhale, send your arms out to the sides, and as you exhale, come into Virabhadrasana 2, pressing out through the back edge of your back foot. Lift that inner ankle. Press into all four corners of your front foot. Couple of breaths here. Good, and we'll reverse it. Bring the palm of your right hand towards the sky and then lean in towards your back leg. You can let that back arm travel down or around your back. Couple of breaths here. Open through that right side body. Enjoy the stretch. Notice where your front knee is. Keep it right over the ankle foot best you can. And then inhale back to Virabhadrasana 2. Anchoring through both feet. Bring your left hand to your hip. Let's come into extended side angle pose. Once you've lowered your forearm down, revolve the ribs around the axis of your spine once again, bringing your heart to face the side of your mat. Press into that back edge of the back foot, an option to lengthen the arm along the side body, an option to sweep it over the head, over the ear. You can also take the arm out in front of you, draw the head of the arm bone into the shoulder socket, and then sweep it over the ear. That used to be my go-to, but I've found that lengthening the arm along the side of my upper side body and leg, and then flipping the palm to the sky, and then reaching it up and over, accomplishes the same thing. We're looking for alignment through the shoulder girdle. And a long stretch from the back heel through the upper fingertips. Take a breath in, and then you can bring your hand back to your hip and press up, just all the way up, lengthening the front leg. Turn that foot to face forward. Take a couple of breaths here. Draw the belly in, let the tailbone sink down towards the earth. Shoulder blades on the back, and then turn your left foot to face the foot of your mat, toes towards the foot of the mat. Firm the muscles to the bones in the legs. Lift the heart, and again, tuck the belly in. Let the tailbone drop down. Take a breath in, send the arms out. Reach out through the fingertips, and then exhale. Bend into your left leg. Knee right over the ankle foot. So maybe if you peek down, you see just your big toe. Breathe here, lifting the heart, drawing the belly in, hugging that left hip under as you press into the outer edge or the back edge of your back foot, lifting the inner ankle. Then flip your left palm to the sky to reverse the warrior. Maybe taking your arm behind you. Breathe here. Bring awareness to your front knee, your left hip, your back foot, the length and stretch through your side body. And then take a breath in, come back to Viratu, and we'll lower down into side angle pose. Again, revolving the ribs so they face the side of your mat, stacking your shoulders. Keep pressing into the outer edge of your right foot, lifting that inner ankle, and then option to take your arm up and over. Breathe into the side body, stretch long. And on your next inhalation, come all the way up. Turn both feet to face forward. And then heel toe your feet back together. And come to stand in Tadasana. Again, feeling the energy, prana, the chi, life force energy flowing. Notice your breath, and once again, do your best to slow it down. Bringing the breath to longer breaths out, long breaths in, longer breaths out. Grounded from the soles of your feet all the way up through the crown of your head. Relax your shoulders, your jaw. Good, let's come to the mat. We're going to lower down, find your blanket and a block. One block should do it. We'll come to wide, seated wide angle forward fold. So reach your legs out to a comfortable stretch. And you might want, we're actually not going to fold forward. Please be seated on a blanket and roll your hips so that they come into that nice 30-degree tilt. And lengthen your spine. Bring your heels to the earth and press them into the mat. And then bring your kneecaps and your toes towards the sky. And we're going to take a side stretch. Lots of side stretches today. We'll go first to the left and stretch through the right. You might want to bring a block to the outside or even the inside of your left leg. You can also not use a block, whatever feels best for you. You can simply bring your left hand to your leg and on an inhalation lift the right arm up. Take a breath in, grow the spine and the side bodies long, and on an exhalation, side bend towards your left leg. Keep pressing into the heels on both legs, and do your best to keep your heart facing forward. Extend long through the right fingertips and stay grounded through your right hip. Another breath in right here. Into the side body, into the hip, into the quadratus lumborum and all those muscles along the side back and side body. Even the psoas. Take another breath here and then you can revolve and bring your ribs to face your left leg. And on your next inhalation, rise up. Couple of breaths here. So if you're using a block, bring it to the other side. So when coming to this side, you can rest your elbow or your hand on the block or your leg. I don't think I was clear about that. So taking a long, deep breath in, lengthen through both side bodies and then lift your left arm up. And as you exhale, reach long towards your right leg. Breathe and extend. Just allowing the fibers to extend, warm, lengthen. As you breathe in and out, keep your knees and your toes towards the sky. Please don't prop with your right shoulder, but lengthen the neck, lift out of the shoulder. Reach long through your upper fingertips and breathe into the side body. Good. On your next breath in, you can revolve to face your leg. Take a couple of breaths here. And on an inhalation, draw yourself back up. Lengthen the spine and take your hands behind your knees. Help your legs up. And you can heel toe your feet to the wide edges of your mat. Lift your heart and bring your hands behind you. And with your breath, let the legs come from side to side. Inhale up, exhale over, and take it slow. Good. So now we're going to come on to our backs and bring your block, a block and a strap with you, please. And we'll start with the strap. We'll strap the right leg first for Supta Padangusthasana, bringing the strap around the ball of your right foot, and of course taking care not to bonk yourself with your strap. And take your strap into both hands and press out through the heel of that foot. And then holding the strap in just your left hand, take your right thumb into your hip crease and with the palm and the fingertips press that thigh and the hip away from you. Feel the length along the side body as your hip moves towards the foot of your mat. Do your very best to keep that length along the side body, the hip moving away from your ribs, and then find your strap in your right hand. Again, take care with the buckle. Take a breath in, keep pressing that hip towards the foot of your mat, and as you exhale, send your left leg long on your mat. Relax your shoulders and take a breath in. Keep pressing the hip away as you lengthen the leg out to the right side of your mat, turning your toes towards the earth. And do your best to anchor your left hip into the mat so it doesn't lift up but stays grounded in the mat. And you can assist this by bringing your left hand to your hip. Also by lifting your leg, perhaps your right leg, up off the mat. Pressing out through the soles of both feet is really helpful in keeping the hips in alignment, especially grounding through this left hip as you press out mightily through the sole of your left foot. Again, relax your shoulders. And on your next inhalation, lift your right leg back up to the sky. Transfer the strap into your left hand. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, send that leg over to the left. Press out through the sole of that foot and do your best to keep your right shoulder blade laying on the mat. Perhaps you even turn and look towards your right fingertips as you press out. Press that right hip down towards the foot of your mat, growing long through that side body. Breathe. And on your next breath in, lift the leg up. Take the strap into both hands, and once again, press that hip away from the ribs and down towards the foot of the mat. Take a breath here and draw your toes, your right toes towards your face, pressing the heel towards the sky. Relax your shoulders. Relax your face. On your next breath in, release the strap from your foot and lower the foot to the mat. Lengthen your leg and feel the differences or samenesses or whatever is the reality in this moment in your body. Good, and then please bring both feet to your mat. We'll take the other side. On your next inhalation, strap your left foot right at the ball of the foot and then lengthen it towards the sky. Taking care with your buckle, take the strap into your right hand, and with your left hand, press your thigh away. Your left thigh towards the foot of the mat. Bring the hip with you. Lengthen through the side body. Feel that length and do your best to keep that. And transfer the strap into your left hand. Take a breath in, keeping that left hip towards the foot of your mat. I said take a breath in, sorry about that, and then exhale, lengthen the right leg all the way down towards the foot of your mat. Once again, notice where your hips are. Press that left hip down and away, and on your next inhalation, lengthen the left leg out to the left side of your mat. Turn your toes towards the earth and ground your right hip, either by pressing out through the sole of your right foot or by anchoring your hand into your hip, or both. Press out through the soles of both feet, enjoying your breath. Keep noticing the side body and where your hip tends to want to go. Two more breaths here. On your next inhalation, please lift your leg back up to the sky and take the strap into your right hand. Keep pressing out through the soles of both feet as you take your left leg over to the right. Do your best to keep that right shoulder blade anchored to the mat. Press out through the soles of both feet. And again, notice where your left hip is and do your best to keep it pressing it towards the foot of your mat. A couple breaths here. And on your next inhalation, lift the leg back up to the sky and bring the strap into both hands. Press out through the soles of both feet, and on your next breath in, draw the leg towards you, toes towards your face, heel towards the sky, keeping that left hip pressing towards the foot of the mat. Relax your shoulders and your face best you can, and then slide the strap off of your foot. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, lower the foot to the mat. Stretch it out. Feel your breath. Feel the truth of this moment in your body, and you can release your strap. And find your block. Bring both feet to the mat. Hip width distance apart in constructive rest pose. Take a breath here and lift your hips, lengthen through the lower back and set your hips back on the mat. Lengthen the back of your neck, please. And then we're going to lift the hips by pressing into all four corners of the feet and lifting the hips. Place the block right under your sacrum on the lowest setting, sideways on your mat, on your lowest setting. Make sure it's right under your sacrum. And settle onto the block, and on your next inhalation, draw your right knee towards your chest. Flex the foot. On your next breath in, take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, send your left leg long on the mat. Press out through the soles of both feet. Breathe into the stretch. You can apply about 35% of your muscle energy to your upper knee. Not too much, just enough. Breathe into the stretch, into your psoas. Press out through the soles of both feet, especially the extended leg foot, for a nice big stretch. Soften your face, soften your eyes. And of course you can modify if this doesn't feel good in your body, perhaps without the block would be more beneficial. Never go into pain. Stretch, yes. Pain, please, no. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Relaxing your shoulders and your face. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, lower your right foot to the mat and bring your left foot to join it. Take 2 breath cycles here. And on your next inhalation, draw your left knee towards your chest. Again, 35% or so muscle energy hugging in. Not too much, just enough. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, send your right leg long along the mat. Reach out through the sole of both feet, pressing out, especially through the sole of your extended leg foot. Pressing out through the big toe pad, drawing the pinky toe towards your shoulder. Lengthening through the inner groins, the adductors, all along the inner leg line. And relax your face and your jaw, your eyes, your shoulders and your neck. Nice, long, deep breaths. One more breath cycle here. And then take a breath in, and as you exhale, lower your left foot to the mat. Bring your other foot to join it. And find all 4 corners of both feet. Press those into the mat. And on an inhalation, gently lift your hips up off the block, scoot it out of the way, and lower down slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time, lengthening through the sacrum, the lower back, the tailbone as you reach the mat. Lengthen the back of your neck and draw the knees towards you, keeping your tailbone long on your mat. Let the head of the thigh bones rotate in their hip capsules. No forcing, just let the weight of your hands on your knees be enough. Letting those thighs lower towards your chest with no effort, just allowing them to lower down. And once they've completed their journey, you will know and sense when they've reached their journey's end. Place your hands on your kneecaps and circle. And go both directions. Take a breath in and lower your feet to the mat. We'll take a twist, opening the arms into a T. Press into all four corners of both feet and lift your hips to the right. On an inhalation, lift your legs off the mat and send the knees to the left, lifting your right hip towards your knees. Again, pressing that hip towards the foot of the mat. You can even take your left hand and press into the thigh, right at the hip crease. Once you've found that length, you can open your arm once again, perhaps turning to look over towards your right fingertips. Deep stretch through the right side body. Invite the breath into your right armpit, your right ribs, the lobe of the lung, the side waist, the hip. Good. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, lift your legs back up. Come onto your back. Feet come to the mat. Lift your hips back to center. Lengthen your neck. Lengthen the skin along the back of your neck. And then on an inhalation, press into all four corners of your feet and lift your hips to the left. Take a breath in. Lift your legs up off the mat and send them over to the right. Lift your left hip towards your knees. Do your best to keep your shoulder blades on the mat. And again, you can take your right hand and press your hips, especially your left hip, towards the foot of your mat. Stay like this or open the arm back out and turn to look over towards your left fingertips if that feels accessible and good. Relax your face. Take a breath into the left armpit, into the left lobe of the lung and ribs, side waist and hip. And let that breath go. Couple more breaths here. And on your next inhalation, lift your legs back up, come onto your back and lower your feet to the mat. Lift your hips back to center. Take a breath in and find Apanasana, knees to the chest. Flex your feet, hug your knees and relax your shoulders, lengthen the back of your neck. If your waist is lifted up off the mat, let your lower back lay down, back towards the mat. Take a couple of breaths here. If you enjoy lifting your head towards your knees, go right ahead. Grow small, tiny little bug pose. Take a breath here, and as you exhale, release and find your way into Shavasana. Lengthen your legs along your mat. Give yourself some space in between your legs, in between your arms and your upper body. Cover yourself. Put a roll of blankets under your knees or a bolster. Once you've arrived, Draw your shoulder blades under your back. Make sure your weight is evenly distributed on your sacrum. And take a deep, deep breath in. And as you exhale, let it flow all the way down your body like a beautiful wave of energy, washing out the soles of your feet. Take another one like that. Deep breath in. And let the breath wash all the way down your body and out the soles of your feet. Then please take a deep breath into the space between your legs. And through parted lips, let that breath softly go. Now take a deep breath into the space between your arms and your side bodies. And through parted lips, let that breath go slowly. And in the same way, take a deep breath into the space between your ears and your shoulders. And let that breath go. And then breathing into the hollows of your body as though there were little nostrils in the arches of your feet. Take a breath in through those. And let it go. And in the same way, take a breath into the space behind your knees. And let that go. And again, as though there were little nostrils in your groins, take a breath in through those. And let that go. And breathing in the same way, take a breath into the space of your armpits. And let that go. Then breathing into the little nostrils in the eyes of your elbows. And let that go. Breathing into the space of the palms of your hands. Deep breath in. And let that go. And then a breath into that space right in between your collarbones, the sternal notch. Take a breath in there. And let that go. And then breathe into the little nostrils right in your eye sockets. And let that go. Stay with your breath. Begin to bring your awareness back to your breath. And slowly back to your body. Feel your thumbs and fingers, rubbing them together. And then with a gentle wiggle of the fingers and the toes, and some very gentle and slow rotations of the wrists and the ankles. And then expanding into a deep breath in, lifting your arms up overhead, pointing your toes. Deep breath. And let that go. Take any movement that feels good in your body. And then roll to your right side. And stay there in a fetal position, all nice and safe and snug on the earth. Couple more breaths right there, letting it all settle in. And then please use your hands and your arms to press back up. Come to a seat on your mat with a nice long spine, grounded through the hips where we began, grounded and sturdy, stable, supported in your legs and your hips. Please bring your hands in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra, bringing all together in the midline of the body. The right brain, the left brain, the duality of the world, of your life, of your thoughts, whatever, right into the center, the midline of the body. And take a moment to bow your head to your heart with gratitude for your heart's having led you to your mat this morning, with gratitude for one another, our Sangha, our community, with gratitude for all the teachings, the practices, the teachers that have given us a little light along our journey. And with gratitude for all those who have gone before, our ancestors, throughout the ages. And gratitude for this moment, for life itself. And for so much more, so much gratitude. Please join me in, we'll send out some metta, some loving kindness in this world of ours. May all beings everywhere, omitting none, be happy and peaceful. May all beings be healthy and strong. May all beings everywhere be safe and protected. May all beings be filled with loving kindness and forgiveness. And may all beings everywhere live with ease and grace all the days of their lives. May this be so. Please join me in one Om. We'll simply inhale to begin. Om. Thank you. Thank you so much for your practice. So good to practice with you. May your day be lovely and bring you all that your heart desires. Namaste.